If you've been a MacBook user for many years now, you might feel like Apple has lost that edge that essentially propelled the company out of its dark ages. While they've been rolling up new MacBook Pro models, and other devices, for that matter, faster than our bank accounts can keep up, and some of those individual upgrades have definitely helped make for improved machines, those updates have felt a little hollow. Since 2016, Apple has taken a different tack with a MacBook Pro, focusing on features friendlier to the mainstream, like the Touch Bar, and even further streamlining its design. As with the removal of all ports but Thunderbolt 3. It's a case of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it's been disappointing to seasoned users.
Granted, the MacBook Pro 2018 has been upgraded to boast the 8th generation Intel processor and a newer, faster SSD that some have argued is better than anything else out there, giving it unprecedented speed. They've also upped the display with True Tone technology, fixed some of the butterfly keyboard issues from 2017, though not the keyboard itself, which still feels stiff and has less travel, all while maintaining last year's battery life numbers. Do we have high hopes for the 2019 update? Well, this new direction isn't likely going away anytime soon, and you're gonna have to get with the times, so to speak. But we are hopeful that Apple dials down the frills and wows us with updates that we do need. Here's to hoping Apple gives us back some of the things we loved about the older models.
Number 1. MacBook Pro 2019 release date. Although a 2019 update to the MacBook Pro, as well as the Mac Pro, is expected, there's no rumored release date at the moment. It's hardly a surprise, as that the 2018 update just dropped this July. We might need to wait a few months or even early next year for a clearer date. However, going by Apple's previous release dates, MacBook Pro 2017 debuted in June 2017 while the MacBook Pro 2018 model came out a few weeks ago in July. A summer release for the MacBook Pro 2019 makes sense and is highly plausible. Keep an eye out for updates.
Number 2. MacBook Pro 2019 price. Just the fact that Apple hasn't upgraded its non-touch bar MacBook Pros this year says a lot about its direction, which is likely to phase them out and continue asking us pay for tech that, while promising, hasn't been perfected yet. The worst part of the 2018 models is the fact that you need to shell out thousands to get the highest amount of RAM. The 32GB RAM option is only available to the 15-inch models and the largest SSD combo. Otherwise, you're stuck with base amount of RAM and a touch bar that isn't even universally compatible yet. Photographers and filmmakers who need a bigger screen, you can forget about getting a non-touch bar model. You can also forget about upgrading your 13-inch. The majority of its parts are soldered, so you'll have to bring in a professional and break your warranty. Then you may have to invest in a third-party docking station because the only ports available to you are the USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports and a headphone jack. Of course, it's hard to predict these things, but you'll probably see more of the same prices. At the moment, the basic 13-inch with touch bar configuration, featuring 8GB of RAM, a 256GB SSD and 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, will set you back £1,799, £1,749, a $2,699. You're basically paying $300 more for the touch bar, Touch ID and 2 additional Thunderbolt 3 ports. Considering Apple left starting prices unchanged this year over last, expect more of the same for the MacBook Pro 2019.
Now, we have made a list of what we might see from MacBook Pro 2019 according to the leaks and rumors. Apple hasn't been getting a lot of love lately, what with the great keyboard debacle of 2016-2017, the troubled touch bar and the soldered RAM, to name a few. But We're still hoping Apple takes a new lease on life in 2019 and actually gives the users some of the things they need.
Improved Touch Bar. When it comes to the new Touch Bar, it seems that Apple is standing its ground. Despite many complaints from users and despite the fact that many still prefer not having it, Apple seems to be in the process of phasing out the MacBook Pros without the Touch Bar. In fact, it's only the MacBook Pros with Touch Bar that received the 8th Gen Intel processor and True Tone display upgrades this year. That's all fine and dandy, and, we must admit, the technology has promise. However, if Apple is going to ask for a few $100 for a new feature, can we please get more use out of it? So far, Touch Bar compatibility is only limited to a few programs and apps, and we want to see more added to this list. Plus, it would be nice to get it properly working without the freezes and fat finger issues.
Better keyboard, display and sound. Sure, Apple has improved the keyboard so that it's quieter, but it's still a tad stiff and has less travel than most keyboards. As far as ergonomics, the keyboard isn't the best. It's not that we hate it, but it's certainly more difficult to love it. We could get used to the keyboard, but would rather see a better one. Better yet, Apple could bring back the old design we've come to know and love. The MacBook Pro designers should take cues from the iPhone X and get rid of the bezeled display. That's a lot of precious real estate wasted, and pushing for a bezel-free display will give users a bigger screen without having to compromise the size. Plus, by going bezel-free, it'll give the update a fresher, more modern look. Also, a laptop designed to edit 4K media should have a 4K screen option. And, while Apple's at it, we'd like to see it reconsider those speakers. We get that Apple is pushing for a more compact design, but the speakers in the older MacBook Pros are so much better. With all the technology they come up with, it would be welcome to receive a premium set of speakers with better bass and more volume.
New Intel processor. Rumor has it that Intel is designing a new processor, the 10nm Canyon Lake, and we'd love to see it on the MacBook Pro 2019 update. Obviously, the 2018 models just got the 8th generation Coffee Lake boost, but Canyon Lake is expected to be more efficient and even better performing, which would be great for users who skipped on the 2018 update or need to upgrade their units that year. Of course, since it's been confirmed that Intel doesn't expect this chip to drop until late 2019, Apple would have to delay their release until the chip comes out, and that seems highly unlikely. Still, we'd rather see it delayed and have an even better processor than invest in one with only superficial upgrades.